What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Guardians at the Corner, the Cleveland Guardians show brought to you by Network 216, exclusively on the Network 216 channel. I'm your host, Zach Caldwell. I'll be joined by my co host, Chuck, shortly. Yeah, I actually just remembered that I needed to invite him to the stream. But I'd like to thank you guys if you guys are joining us. If you guys are joining us while the game against Boston is going on right now, appreciate it. If you guys come follow along, you can see I've got the game day pulled up to follow along with the action, but hopefully you guys are tuned into us where you can listen to us and have the game up at the same time. Gonna wait on Chuck to get in here. He was on his way home from work. Chuck works late morning ish to afternoon. So let me pop this link in his DMs. If you guys wish to join us, I will drop the StreamYards link in the comments. You guys can join that. You guys can come up here on the stage and talk Guardians baseball with us throughout the entire duration of the show. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. Let's get caught up on what's going on. So Guards are currently playing Boston. Cleveland's on top 1-0 actually just before this broadcast went live. Jose Ramirez hit a home run that wrapped around the pesky pole in right field at Fenway. Jose gets another home run, continues to have an absolutely impressive season, puts the Guards up 1-0, and Franmil Reyes just popped out to Jeter Downs to end the inning. So I'll tell you guys what we're going to talk about today for those of you that are here and watching, listening. We'll go over like the current state of the team. We were supposed to have Pat Ellington Jr. with us this evening. Excuse me. However, Pat had some complications come up and had to reschedule on us. So we currently have him on the hook for next Monday. So be watching for that for next Monday. And I know it's hard to tune into these during the game. We have been trying to structure these around the off day. However, that's really hard to do when your team doesn't have an off day for seemingly weeks at a time. Guardians' next off day is going to be August 8th. And just a really long stretch of games to get through. It seems like this team has been berated with just the most insane amount of games to just continue to try to play. And you're starting to see the effects of that in the team because what's happening is you're seeing the fact that the team pretty much has to throw a bullpen game about every seventh game. I believe part of that is due to the trade deadline. So Aaron Savali being hurt and the club not willing to make a move to add someone to the 40-man roster, to me, indicates that they are going to be active buyers in the trade market for pitching. And that's important because you understand that in baseball, when you trade a player that is on the 40-man roster, so like let's say, for example, Cleveland decided to select the contract of Peyton Battenfield, AAA prospect pitcher, currently pitching with Columbus, having a decent, pretty good year. One of my favorite prospects, if you guys have listened to me talk baseball at all. Let's say Cleveland selects his contract. He's now on the 40-man roster. Okay. Let's say you get one or two starts out of him before the trade deadline. And then, a team wants him because he's arguably your most major league ready pitcher outside of Connor Pilkington and Kirk McCarty. And we've seen Pilkington and McCarty this year. I think we kind of know what they are. So when you trade a player that's on the 40-man roster, he has to be kept on the team's 40-man roster. So that would complicate things if you wanted to trade him to a team that maybe wasn't ready to put him on the 40-man. Oh, y'all gonna have to give me a second. Chuck's calling me. Hang on. All right, Chuck will be joining me. So finishing my thought, if you trade a player that's on the 40-man, they have to be added to the 40-man. That's why I don't think the club is going to trade unless like it's an absolute blockbuster trade. I don't think they're going to trade John Kenzie Noel. I don't think they're going to trade George Valera. Those guys occupy 40-man slots, and that's to protect them from the Major League Baseball Rule 5 draft. So it'll be curious to see how that plays out as the rest of the week goes on. You guys should definitely be following Jeff Passan and Ken Rosenthal on Twitter. They're about the only reputable sources, at least as far as I'm concerned, as far as trades. Yeah, I ain't got anything else to say about that. Oh, Chuck. Chuck is not. I say this with all love for my co-host. Chuck is not very technology savvy, and so sometimes I have to kind of walk him through stuff. But he should be getting in here in a second. So I did have a ticker setup that disappeared because I did not finish it before I went live, and that's my fault. I had a bunch of trade tracker stuff in there, so I'll just go over what was in there. So per Hector Gomez, who is reliable. Again, take it with a grain of salt. Hector works for MLB.com. Sometimes some of those guys are a little bit more accurate than others. Say, for example, John Heyman. I would not take anything he says seriously because he's probably behind the curve in terms of who to follow. However, Hector's usually pretty good. He covers, if you follow his tweets, he tweets a lot in Spanish. Chuck's here. All right, let's get him in here. Hey, Chuck, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, Zach?
All right, so I'll bring you up to speed on what I was talking about. So I'm bringing up to speed the latest news on like overarching trade deadline news. So per Hector Gomez earlier, the Padres are expected to be the front runner for Juan Soto. So AJ Preller obviously has reached out to the Nationals front office, and the package is rumored to be Mackenzie Gore, who would have to be a player to be named later because he just got hurt. Robert Hassel III, who is the number 23 MLB prospect, as well as
DJ Abrams has to be in there.
I cannot for the life of me remember their names. I had it here, but Chuck, do you have the game on at home?
I sure do.
Yep, I do too. I've got it pulled up, and I've got the game day tracker pulled up. So there's a lot going on in trade land. Pablo Lopez, arguably probably who I would like to see become a Cleveland Guardian. He's got 2 years of contract time left. He's arbitration eligible. A very rare case with an organization where they have 2 ace caliber pitchers. Pablo Lopez is absolutely legit. He rocks a fielding independent pitching factor of 3.6, which is very good. He has an ERA right around 3 even. And having that with Sandy Alcantara is a very nice combination for the Marlins to have. However, the Marlins need other pieces to be better. We'll talk about a package that I think a lot of us have talked about that might attract the Marlins' attention. Andrew Benintendi was traded to the New York
Yankees.
The Yankees send back 2 pitching prospects and I believe an outfielder in the trade deal. So Yankees give up I believe their number 8 prospect for him. So that's what's going on. Chuck, let's shift now, and we obviously have a game going on right now. Maybe some people will come back and watch this later, but let's talk about like the current state of the team, and I want to get your thoughts on where you think the team is at. Like obviously we're watching the Boston game play out. It's 1-0. Sticks is doing his thing. He's through 3 innings with 3 strikeouts. Where do you think the Guardians are at right now in the competitive buying or selling market?
I think we're right where I think we're right where we want to be. We have just as a chance of winning this division as anybody else. We in the beginning of the week we see like Zach Plesac, rumors on him. The Guardians listen on everybody. That is their job. You want to talk Zach Plesac, we'll talk Zach Plesac. You want to talk Tristan McKenzie, we'll even talk Tristan McKenzie. But we'll have our price, and no one's going to meet their price usually. But the Guardians do business and talk. That's how they do business. They always answer the phone and talk about everybody on their roster. That's how they operate. That's how they always have. They make their price, if they don't, and they don't move off their price. That's always been their MO since day one with this front office. I think they're going to go for it. I don't know how much, but I definitely think we're going to see some buying. I still got this feeling that Franmil is going to get traded. Just the way this team is, operating, you could just see Owen Miller's playing a lot more. Will Benson randomly getting reps at first base the whole
Yeah, I
week.
thought that was actually kind of interesting that he
This late,
has gotten multiple starts at first.
this late in his career too. Just very,
Yep,
just
24.
and when they have Bobby Bradley on the roster, why is Will Benson all of a sudden getting starts at first? It's just stuff like that, little tea leaf things that we just need to see. But I could definitely see maybe Framel getting traded, opening up a roster spot on the 26 man, and then us going out for some pitching. Pablo Lopez is my guy. I'm all in on him. I value him higher than Luis Castillo because of this added extra year. Like if I had to pick 1 to 2, I would pick Pablo Lopez because we get the second year of control on him, where Luis Castillo only has 1 left. So Marlins, they had some bad news this past week. Jazz Chisholm, he's out for the year
Yep.
with a foot injury, and then today, just awful news. Their number 2 prospect, top 50 prospect in all baseball, Max Meyer, starting pitcher.
Tommy
Unfortunately,
John.
yeah, Tommy John. So that's a blow. That's a big blow, and he was an upper level pitcher too. So that's just a blow.
Do you think it changes the Marlins posture any and raises the price for Pablo Lopez or no?
I don't think it changes the posturing, but Pablo Lopez is going to be a very expensive arm, especially with that, because Montas and Luis Castillo, they only really have a year and a half control, right? Pablo
Yep.
Lopez is 2.5, so you get him for 3 pennant races instead of 2, if you were to acquire him this week. So it's really he's really the arm that I want. It's going to take a lot. It's going to hurt, but he's really the arm that I want.
I think if we want Lopez, we're probably going to have to overpay for him. I
Yeah,
think
that's true.
because it is the seller's market. Like right now with like the need for pitching, obviously the White Sox are not terribly out of, the discussion for the division. The AL Central is very weak. The Twins, I think, are going to be looking for more relief pitching. But in terms of starting pitching, I could definitely see both Chicago and Cleveland being very competitive and asking. And, Cleveland, we have no shortage of prospects that we can offer. Actually, I would argue we have too many prospects, which puts us in a perfect position to be leverage buyers to go after guys that have controllability left, guys like Sean Murphy.
What a catch by Nolan Jones.
Yes, sir.
Woo!
I'll tell you what, man, he has been impressive in right field. Oh, y'all are in for a treat, man.
Well,
I have never watched a game
live.
I have never watched a game live with Chuck. I've only, obviously I talk to Chuck every day. We talk baseball like crazy, but I have never, like, both of us have the game pulled up. We're watching along as we talk about this stuff.
Yeah, that's why our podcast is so unique. We were total strangers before this podcast started.
Yep.
It's
If you
not
guys
like,
didn't know, Chuck and I met via Guardian's Twitter, and I brought him on.
Random DM,
Yep, I brought him on for a random segment.
We were, friends growing up. Let's start a podcast and talk baseball. It was not even close.
And we live in completely separate areas of the country too.
Yeah.
So I'm a displaced Ohioan. I live in Georgia.
Yeah.
Chuck never lived in Ohio. He's been in Jersey his whole life.
Complete strangers. And so that's what makes this podcast so cool.
Yep. But here we are talking baseball, and I couldn't be more blessed to have you as a co-host, because the reality is I would rather talk baseball with people that love the game and have a passion for it rather than just sit in front of a microphone here by myself.
Yeah, so it's really exciting, especially now with 2-6 us being on board with 2. We have some plans that are definitely building for the next few weeks. We're gonna have some special guests, well known within the Guardians community, and it's really exciting. It's going to be tremendous. I don't want to tell the guests, say the names now, but it's going to be really, really exciting on this podcast, at the Corner Podcast, for the next few weeks.
Yep, and Pat has rescheduled to Monday.
Yeah,
thank you for reminding me that I need to follow up on probably the most hot topic one on Monday. I'll follow up with them on that so that we can start working on that one. But we'll work out for sure that some of our guests, and we'll start announcing them And these are well-respected names in Guardians Twitter as well as Guardians media. A lot of these guys cover the team for a living and the farm system.
Some of
So
these
we're
guys
gonna,
are my heroes, Zach. Because I'm new
yeah,
to Twitter, so like when I started Twitter, I wasn't really active. I would just listen to the Guardians podcast, and like I would just listen to these guys, and like, oh my god, these guys are incredible, you know. And here we are possibly doing way to go, Tristan. Here
yes,
possibly doing
sir.
a
Tristan's
podcast
shoving.
with him. So yeah, it really is exciting. The great Pat Ellington's going to be with us on Monday. Looks like around 8 o'clock. So
Yep.
we're going to do a special trade deadline preview along with some other cool topics. Pat really is a tremendous writer. His columns are really special. So I really am looking forward to that.
And he's big on the love. He's big on the love of baseball too. Pat writes a lot about ways that Major League Baseball could grow the game,
Yeah,
especially among minority diversity groups in America, particularly Black Americans.
yeah.
Things that
His
baseball can
columns are
do.
brilliant. Brilliant.
He's written fantastic pieces on Jackie Robinson. I was really looking forward to having him on tonight because he's covered big name prospects that we talk about in Guardians Twitter, like Bo Naylor. He's talked
Xavier
about George
Curry.
Valera. He
Yeah,
interviewed Xavier Curry.
yeah.
So we're going to be bringing him to you guys. So stay tuned for that on Monday. That should work. Again, there will be a game Monday night. There's nothing we can do about that. The team doesn't have an off day till the 8th. So back to the current state of the team. Do you think Cleveland believes that it is a pitching piece away from winning the division this year?
I think so.
And do you think that they're
It's
willing
not
to give up the
necessarily.
prospect capital it takes to get it?
Yes, they're not going to give up Daniel Espino or George Valera. I don't see that happening. I definitely see them trading from the middle infield depth along with maybe an upper level arm. Let's say,
Got tons of outfield depth too.
yeah, maybe Will Brennan, like a package. Let's do hypothetically, we're going after Pablo Lopez, maybe Will Brennan, Tyler Freeman. Maybe you'd have to give in on Brian Rocchio due to the upside, which that's gonna just hurt really bad.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
Jose Tena, he's a very under the radar prospect that's not get talked about enough because there's just so much middle infield depth, and then you're gonna have to probably, then you're gonna have to look at doing an arm problem, I guess. Logan T. Allen, our
Yep.
boy Peyton Battenfield, which is going to be a very upsetting if that happens for us.
Oh man.
So probably 2 in the top 100. But late top 100. We have 8 prospects in top 100. 8.
Do you think Cleveland would flip Battenfield with having just acquired him last year in the Jordan Luplow trade?
The Guardians don't really like to do that. They usually, scout their guys, identify their guys,
and then let them develop.
And let them develop and let them play. We saw that for better or for worse. We see that right now with Josh Naylor. We saw that with Jake Bowers. But then they play their guys that they have to go after acquire. That's why it's a part of me just always goes back to Gabriel Arias with the Samed Rosario sticking at shortstop this year. They really were high on him. I'll never forget Tito's line, like how highly he spoke of Gabriel Arias, and they called him up a few times this year just to give him a little taste at the major league level. So it really just stays with me. But yes, I do think that we are going to be in on the pitching market. It's interesting. At the same time, Mark Feinsand from MLB Network and MLB.com, said how all the AL Central teams, the White Sox, the Twins, and the Guardians, are in on the pitching market just as much as anybody, right? And then we get Jeff Passan's thing on Baseball Tonight on Sunday saying that I wouldn't be shocked if Zach Plesac is in a different uniform. So it's like we're listening on some players, and we're gonna go out and acquire. That's pretty much what we always do. Run both sides of the rope.
Well, and I think the club will make some trades for roster management this year.
Absolutely.
Hey, but before we go on, I want to plug our sponsor. So we here at Network 216 and At the Corner, we're sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. If you guys play daily fantasy sports, Underdog is the absolute best place to play. It's super easy. So for the MLB side of things, You can do daily drafts. I'm going to probably be doing a couple of them next week. I can promote them more, but it's simple. All you do, I do $3 entry ones and I do them privately. It's simple. You draft a pitcher, 2 infielders, 2 outfielders, and a flex. You get to look at your matchups and pick your players in a live draft, and then you see who comes out on top. I really like this format that Underdog does because there you really get to test your baseball statistical smarts, and you can play matchups or you can go gut feeling. It's a lot of fun. I've played a couple of games in other people's lobbies, and it's super cool to watch it play out. Obviously you can win some cash. And if you guys sign up on Underdog with code 216, Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. So you want to deposit $10 risk-free and get $10, you can do that. All you have to do is go to underdogfantasy.com or download the app in the App Store. And remember, sign up using code 216. That's all you got to do. Easy peasy, man. By far, it is legitimately, I mean that. It is my favorite place to play fantasy sports. There's other DFS sites you guys can play out there. Underdog does a pretty good job of keeping it simple. And if you're into other stuff, we just announced the new show that's coming to Network 216 this year, Cannon District. That's going to be about the Columbus Blue Jackets. That's going to be hosted by me and a very knowledgeable, wonderful, very well-established fan of the game in the Twitter community, Madigan O'Brien. She is so smart on the game of hockey and up on the game. So we'll be talking hockey betting, fantasy, all things Blue Jackets. They've got everything, dude. Basketball, baseball, football. Their football leagues are going to be crazy this year. But it's beside the point. So if you guys play daily fantasy, make sure you check them out. Chuck disappeared for a second. So
Sure, I'm here.
Oh man, I'm watching this game and I hate Fenway Park, dude. There are so many hits that have happened in this series.
I felt Steven Kwan I felt
bad. And there's so many hits that have happened
too.
There's so many hits that have happened in this series that are deep lineouts that would be almost triples.
Have you ever
in
been
most
to
other
Zach?
ballparks?
Have you ever been to Fenway?
No. So the furthest north I've been was the old Mets Stadium, Shea Stadium. I was in New York in middle school. I caught a game at Shea, and I caught a game at Old Yankee Stadium before it got torn down.
Right.
That is the furthest north I've been. So Fenway's on my list. I don't know if it's going to happen. The Air Force doesn't exactly have me travel that direction very often. The one time I passed through Massachusetts, it was in the dead of winter. It was piss cold outside, and I was not having a good time. So I was on my way back from a deployment when we stopped in Massachusetts. Don't recommend it in the wintertime. Summertime's great, though. And Boston fans, man, their baseball culture is, they probably have, granted, you can probably find some rowdy fan bases, but I've heard if you go to a game at Fenway, there's nobody that you sit next to that doesn't know the entire ins and outs of Boston history, to include little bits and pieces that would just blow your mind. And I absolutely love that. So it's on my list. I don't know if it's going to happen though.
It's such a rich history. It's so cool. The Boston, the Boston tradition of the Red Sox at Fenway. Just think of the names, just read
Ted Williams,
Pedro Martinez, Big Papi, just
Babe Ruth.
Carl Yastrzemski. It's just it's so cool. I love that.
Well, and of course the Red Sox had the great Bambino and traded him.
Yes, they certainly did. It's almost like a mythical. It's just like a bigger, larger than life place because it's been there so long. Well, that's why I love it and hate it at the same time as a fan, because obviously when my outfielder Steven Kwan gets eaten up by the monster wall out there, it's just hard to watch. But it's definitely definitely up there in the top parks in all baseball, for sure. I was there when I was a kid. It was a long time ago. But it's so cool. Tristan McKenzie is dealing.
Yes, sir. Sticks is on his business again. He's through 4.1 with 5 strikeouts, and This is shaping up to be a good one. If Sticks keeps it going, man, this may be a game that you can win 1-0. He's through 4 1/3, and he's only thrown 60 pitches, and that curveball is absolutely working. His fastball's got good life on
How
it.
good is that curveball? Yeah,
It's
my
so
God.
good, man.
His delivery is so electric too, and so consistent. You see, Zach, that fastball, it's like it's coming out 92, 93, but it's up on you, and it feels like it's coming 99, 100 at your face and right at your eyes.
Well, see, even
So
then, Bobby Dahlbeck just swung behind a 93-mile-an-hour fastball in the zone. That's how you can tell it's got good life on it. So as we, comment on stuff that happens in the game, um, I want this deep fly out. Nice catch by Jones. So I want you to build me a realistic trade package for Pablo Lopez and Anthony Bass. So preface this with I think a 5-for-1
I got
for
you in on Anthony Bass.
yeah. Well, and I like him. Like he's a good pitcher. He would be arguably cheaper if you wanted just him, but I think the club has realized it needs starting pitching because you have a number one who's here and there. You have a solid number two in McKenzie, and then you have 3 number 5 starters who about 65% of the time are just absolutely god awful. Nice catch, nice play by Hosey. Sticks is through 5. So I think a 5-for-1 for a guy like Lopez is a little steep, even in a seller's market. So I think we could get Anthony Bass in a 5-for-2.
I've been
So
on Anthony Bass all year.
Build me a 5-for-2. So you had mentioned Logan T. Allen as a pitcher. I could definitely see him moving, or Xavier Curry. Hell, you could even arguably probably move Hunter Gaddis.
Yeah, Hunter Gaddis is going to make a Major League Baseball team very happy. I just don't think he'll end up pitching in Cleveland. He's definitely a Major League pitcher for sure.
That's the type of trade leverage you want to have, though.
Yeah, I could see that. So if we're talking again, we're looking at probably 2 top 100 prospects, maybe even 3, depending if it's the you got to figure some of this is gonna come from the middle infield depth, Zach. So
yep,
we're probably looking at maybe Tyler Freeman and Gabriel Arias, and then
you think one of the two, or do you think both?
Both. I think both.
Ooh. Okay, I could see that.
But they may just want the upside of Brian Rocchio more. Brian Rocchio has 30-30 upside as a middle infielder.
Yeah, and he switch hits too.
His profile could pop. The speed, the switch hitting,
nice swing path.
Yeah, the position. He's playing a lot of second base this year. I don't know why. So it is interesting. Jose Tena is another guy I definitely see getting traded. I just don't see a path for him to Cleveland. He had a very good hit tool. Not so much pop, but it's there. His Zach, he gets no walks. His walk rate is insanely low. It's crazy. I think he has 1 walk in this entire month. It's insane.
That's stupid, man.
It's just insane. But he's still hitting like 280. So
yeah.
But very good fielder. He won a Gold Glove in the minor leagues. Was the Arizona Fall League batting champion. So I've always liked Jose Tena. I just don't see a path for him to Cleveland. So you could see him just added as another piece in any trade package, just because you have so much surplus at your middle infield that you could just that's when you start to see these players getting traded. So again, I'm going Tyler Freeman, Logan T. Allen,
okay,
Gabriel Arias. He's a number 2 starter. It's gonna cost a lot at some point.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to.
He's arguably an ace.
At some point, these players are gonna get traded. You know. So.
Yeah, 3.
All right, Quan just got on. So we're at 3. Then Jose Tena. Okay. Then this is gonna hurt Xavier Curry. That's gonna be very upsetting to me.
I think that's a little generous. I could see the Marlins asking for Jhonkensy Noel.
See, his power tool is through the roof. We've never seen anything like it.
He just hit
Um,
another one tonight.
yeah, I saw that. The problem is that he really has that right-handed power hitting first baseman's profile, whereas a lot of swing and miss, but his power is insane. It can't be denied. He may hit 40 home runs in the minor leagues this year. 40.
Actually, he's
Um,
well on his way. He just hit 28 about 20 minutes ago.
yeah, and so you always worry about the swing and miss there, but like, at the same time, his power can't be ignored. So that's probably why he'll never really be a nationally highly ranked prospect. But a lot of power guys aren't, especially. But he doesn't get enough credit for his athleticism. So I don't think a team would want would be that interested in Jackenzie Noel. I think they would look for a higher floor, with the ceiling as well, because Jackenzie Noel's floor is not good. It's Bobby Bradley level.
Well,
So
his floor is potentially.
Fran
Oh, come
Morez.
on. Ahmed's just getting unlucky, man.
Yeah,
Um, I think Noel. So he's cut his strikeout rate this year. He
he
struck out
has.
at
He definitely has.
36% last year. He is under 30% for this year, which is good. You want to see that. So, for example, like we talked about it in the audio podcast that we did this past weekend, Fran Mill is striking out at 38% of the time,
Insane. It's so
which
sad.
so there's a threshold in Major League Baseball where there's like what's considered like a good strikeout rate, which is usually about 12 to 15%. There's a what's called low risk strikeout rate, which is about 15. It's a little wider, about 15 to 20. I'd say 15 to 22. And then anything over 22%, if you strike out more than 22% of the time, your power upside better be pretty damn good. You should definitely be a perennial 40 home run a year candidate. Most popular name that comes to my mind is Aaron Judge. Let's see if Hosey can move on here real quick.
Oh.
I don't want to know. I'm a couple seconds behind.
Um.
I grounded out.
So Noel's athleticism is very good for a guy his size, but we got to be fair. He is extremely young for a guy at Double A, like really
Yep.
young.
He's
And
what,
I'm
20? He
quoting that
just
off.
turned 21.
21. That's
Yep.
21. And so he's going to hit 40 plums probably. He's well. What's so funny, Zach?
I was responding to my dad. My dad shot me a text.
Oh, very nice.
Um,
But
you were
yeah,
saying?
but I don't think the Marlins would. I just don't think he's not really. He goes under the radar because of that classic big power profile. So that's why you don't see those kind of guys in the top 100 usually, because of the talent prospect evaluators tend to not like strikeout rate candidates. They really never did. It's like a big red flag. But so I don't see them going after him. So again, I'm going the two middle infielders, Logan T.
Okay.
Allen. Then I'm going Jose Tena, Zach. So I'm going three middle infielders.
Ooh, okay. I like the Tana trade. I think he's blocked.
Yeah. So he just has no path to the big leagues. And then I'm gonna go Xavier Curry or Hunter Gaddis. I'm hoping Hunter Gaddis because Xavier Curry is one of my favorite prospects in the system.
Shout out to Scott for tuning in. Scott just dropped a comment in. Appreciate you coming in, brother, especially while there's a game going on.
Tune
I
in,
like that trade
Scott.
package a lot. Yes,
And
sir. I like that trade package a lot. I
what's
don't
up,
think.
Scott? Come join us.
Yeah, man. I'll redrop the StreamYards link in here. If it's still. Yep. If you feel like joining us, you can click that link that I just shared. Come up here and talk some ball with us. We're just watching along the game, talk about the state of the team, and we talk trade
The
hypotheticals. So
the
I'll put
big
mine together.
sleeper, the big sleeper of the system really is Joey Cantillo. Cantillo.
I don't think we have. If the Rule 5 draft happens this past offseason, he's not in the Cleveland Guardians
Yeah, so
organization.
he's definitely getting protected. His upside is incredible. His velo is up at 95, up to 95. With the plus changeup, almost plus plus. So that really is a big sleeper, especially for next year because he's going to be on the 40-man roster. And again, he came in the Mike Clevenger trade. So, his innings have been, he's on a huge innings limit. He hasn't pitched in 3 weeks. So he's not hurt. And he is scheduled to start on Sunday for Double-A Akron. So that is why we haven't seen him as of late.
Oh, shoot. Scott's here. Hang on. Let me get him up here.
Where's
Hey, Scott.
Is that Scott?
What's up?
That is Scott. What's going on, brother?
That is Scott.
Hey.
Oh,
I'm actually at the mall here in Peru, so you'll be your first guest visitor via Peru.
International.
Yeah, man.
Oh, Scott.
I have a meeting.
How's
I'm
Peru
gonna go
treating
into
you?
in just a minute, but I thought I'd jump in.
How's Peru
Good,
treating
man.
you?
Good. Yeah, things here are still stricter than they are there, as you can tell by my mask around my ear. So technically, I'm in a public space and I'm supposed to have a mask on, but people are a little less tight about it than they have been. So for a while, we were actually allowed to take them off, but then this new wave came around again, and they went back to telling everybody to put them on. So
Yeah, so we had been out of masks for, boy, it had been maybe 3 months at work. I'm active duty Air Force, and we had just relaxed our mask policy, and we're back in them full time now. So I feel that.
Foul ball, false alarm, foul ball.
Yeah.
So
Scott, you live there?
I live in Peru.
Wow.
Yeah, have for 9 years. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
forgive me, it's been a while since I listened to Quincy's interview with you, but what took you to Peru in the first place?
Yeah, my wife and I are part of a group that started a small nonprofit that we work with, basically training people for starting small businesses and how to do better personal finance management and also kind of time management and life planning. So we work with a bunch of kind of partner organizations here that we've identified over the years, and yeah, that's our thing. Sorry, I can't get too far from the phone, and I don't have great internet, so my picture isn't the greatest.
No, it's all good, Scott. I appreciate you joining us. You've tagged along on some of the playback streams we've done, and I imagine there's not a very large time difference in Peru. You're probably just a couple hours behind us. But I appreciate all the
we're
interaction you always
actually
give us.
an hour different. Yeah, we're just an hour different. Half of the year we're the same because we don't do daylight savings. So
I wish we didn't do daylight savings.
Yeah, we're kind of it's weird. I always thought we were way further west than we are, but we're actually kind of just below the East Coast, like a little in. Our west coast of South America is not that far west. I always thought it was until I lived here for a number of years and finally realized that wasn't the case. Yeah.
Hey Scott, you'll get a kick out of this. I play Out of the Park Baseball 23, and I'm in an online league. I'm the general manager of a fictional baseball team in a fictional Pacific Western League called the Lima Llama Mafia.
Nice, nice.
Scott, we really appreciate
I was
your
meaning
support,
to tell you,
Scott.
actually, in my game I acquired Soto.
Oh.
It's now the next season, so 2023. I'm not traded him yet. I might have to trade him this offseason. But it's almost the All-Star break, and he has 36 home runs.
Oh, my gosh.
He's just destroying the ball.
That's the type of player he is. That's the type of player he is, man.
Yeah. And the older he gets, he's just going to hit more home runs. I mean, honestly.
He may clear 50 plus as that season goes on in that game. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Scott, we really appreciate your support of the podcast, Scott. It's really you've been tremendous.
Yeah, man.
So we want to say thank you, Scott.
Yeah, man, I appreciate what you guys do. I know it's not an easy thing. I did a little podcast of my own for a little bit during the pandemic, and just because I wanted to and I had some free time, and I love doing it, but it's a commitment, you know.
It is.
Um,
So I
And
appreciate
Chuck could be the
all of you
first
guys that
person to
do
tell
it.
you we've had some not so fun series and not so fun games where we'll text each other and be like, do we really want to sit down and record a podcast episode tonight?
I'm telling you, Scott. I don't want to do any series when we lose. I don't want.
I feel you. I feel you, Chuck. I do.
That Boston series, I was dragged to do that podcast. I wanted no part of it.
Yeah, I know. And that game with Shaw was just brutal. I can't.
Oh, he's
Most of what I did when I was doing my show, it was I called it Buckeye banter, and I wasn't too focused, and that was part of the problem. I think is there was a lot to do because I was basically doing all Cleveland sports plus Ohio State football, and
It's
I
a
started
lot to
kind of with
cover.
the beginning of it's a lot of stuff to try and keep up with, and I started with kind of like a preseason episode for both the Browns and the Buckeyes. Which, I mean, honestly, I've always been probably, I'd say it's a toss up between Ohio State football and Cleveland Indians, now Guardians baseball for me. And then next would be the Browns. So, yeah, it was enjoyable to be able to do kind of that and focus some of my energies and fun things that I've always enjoyed in a way. I wasn't very present on Twitter at the time, and I didn't have enough time to really kind of promote it very much. So I never really got much of an audience, and I just kind of started running out of time and just let it die. So.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it is. You mentioned something that has made me appreciate time even more. Like stuff like this is a commitment. So like even just to like sit down and do maybe like an hour and 15-minute show, like tonight's easy broadcasting to Twitch. I don't have to do any audio editing. But like for the audio podcast we do, I'm my own audio engineer. You know, I have to use the software. I do the intro music. I have to splice all the clips together and make it pretty. That takes time. It takes time to sit down and record that episode. Then I got to drag it into the software. Then I got to line it all up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That. So it definitely is. But I'm thankful that Chuck and I have been able to stick with it. We have a pretty good schedule that works for both of us. And this should be able to last us through the end of the season because I do not have to go to Oklahoma for training until November. And the World Series will be over by the time I'm gone. So I'll be on the road. But Scott, I appreciate you stopping by, man. I appreciate it. And I'm glad that you get to follow the Guardians and watch some of the games, even in Peru.
Yeah, man. Well, I think the guy I'm supposed to meet with just messaged me, so I better jump off. It's good chatting to big guys, and we'll definitely join again another time.
Yes, sir. You're welcome anytime. Have a good one, Scott.
Hopefully chat some more baseball because I didn't really chat much baseball this time.
You're welcome anytime, Scott.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
You're the man, Bye-bye. Scott.
That is Scott Ross. For those of you who didn't know, Scott is a super cool dude. Lives in Peru. So he is also a geographically displaced Guardians fan. It's going to be a tough play for Hosey. Nope. That's an infield single. Jeter's quick, man. Jeter Downs is quick.
I have anxiety.
Yeah, huge thank you to Scott. He's always interacting with us on Twitter and commenting, and they're doing great work out there in Peru. That nonprofit that he works with, he did an interview with Quincy Wheeler on the Guardians Fancast. You guys should definitely go listen to that and learn about what Scott does because he explains in detail what they do. And like he said, it's a nonprofit organization, so they're down there helping people, and that's really, really cool. So thank you to Scott for coming on. Currently in the Guardians game, as most of you are probably watching, Sticks is still doing his thing. He's through 5 with 5 strikeouts. He's at 66 pitches.
Nervous.
Jeter Downs just got an infield single.
I'm nervous about this.
Still a one. I'm not so much. Still a 1-run game. Duran is a formidable hitter, but Sticks will take care of him.
They got the lead off. They got the lead runner on a sack bunt.
Oh, that's a risk, man. So that's a risky play. Why?
It was close.
Boston wants to win this one. I think Boston feels that they can hold it to a 1-run game if they're playing small ball with no outs. That was a nice play to get the lead runner. So before Scott came on, we were talking about Pablo Lopez. I'll package my picks real quick. So the Marlins are in need of outfield help, and I think we have something that could benefit them. I really like, as much as this pains me to say it, because he's one of the first prospects that I talked about when it was just me doing the podcast and I did talent talk back when I still had mountains of free time. Side note, if you guys have ever tried to profile prospects, it takes a long time to go find the film on them and find their college stats and find their gradings and all that stuff. I had a lot of fun with it, and I learned a lot about being objective when evaluating players, but it takes a while. So that aside, I think the Marlins would be very interested in Will Brennan. So
Yep.
Will Brennan played at K-State, was an 8th round pick, started this year at Double-A Akron, has been since at Triple-A Columbus for about 2 months now. And he's having an absolute smash mouth season. He is batting .324. For Columbus, he's batting .333. He batted .311 for Akron. There was a period in time since being promoted to AAA, he was batting .354. He's on base at almost a 400 clip.
Crazy
And he's
numbers.
these are video game numbers, folks. He's on base at almost 400. He walks, he gets hits, he gaps balls, and he's slugging .466, which a .466 slug is absolutely 110% respectable, especially for a high contact profile outfielder. He's got an OPS of .860 at Columbus. Doesn't have a lot of home runs. He has 15 doubles.
Wow, what a pitch.
He had 12 doubles at Akron. That's 27 on the year. And that's what he does. Nice pitch. That curveball, man.
Ooh.
So I think they'd be interested in him. High contact outfielder. That'd be very nice to have in the top of your lineup spot. And obviously when Jazz is healthy, you slot Jazz in like the 2 or 3 hole. They're going to want pitching in return. So Quincy Wheeler pointed out today in a tweet that anytime you trade pitching, you're going to want pitching back because there's no such thing as too much pitching. So I think a very respectable package for him is going to be Xavier Curry, Hunter Gaddis, and probably Logan Allen. I think Daniel Espino is probably untouchable. Although we're not exactly sure what Espino's future. First and second, one out. Not exactly sure what Espino's future looks like with the team because there has not been a lot out of Arizona about his injury.
He's throwing. He's usually a throwing program.
I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to get him to change his mechanics to be less violent.
The word is that he's going to pitch at Akron this year again. That's what I heard
positive
on another prospect show. So I take that to my bank. He will be pitching for Akron again this year. That is what we know.
Okay, I'll take that. So that's good news. If you listen to Justin Latta and Willie Hood talk about him, they expressed that the club probably views his throwing mechanics as a bit in need of tweaking, which is probably why he has the current injury that he has. He has a very violent throwing motion, which is prototypical of a lot of high velocity guys, which he is. So I like Logan Allen, Xavier Curry, and Hunter Gaddis for him. And if we're sending a 5-for-1 trade, they're going to want a middle infielder to play alongside Jazz. And I think that could be very well Gabriel Arias. They're going to want Arias's defensive upside. You know, he plays a platinum glove at third, short, and second.
Interesting note, Tyler Freeman is playing at third base today. Just want to put that in there for context.
I'll tell you what, man. Columbus, that's an organizational doctrine.
Going on.
Well, so like the organizational doctrine is for Columbus, a lot of those guys rotate through infield positions. Right. And the outfielders rotate through outfield and the DH. That way everybody's getting like consistent at bats.
Yeah, I hate evaluating minor league lineups. I think
it's always hard to tell like what is the actual manager's decision versus what the organization has told them the doctrine needs to be.
Yeah, so I think it's just false hope and oh my god, no.
Tie game?
Worse.
Off the wall. Oh, it's gone. Oh no, sticks. Quick, somebody send EMS to check on Chuck. All right, that ball, you guys can see it on the game date. That ball is right down the middle. So we've talked about what plagues McKenzie. And when you're a 3-pitch pitcher, man, you live in the zone, and when you throw fastballs to good hitters, sometimes you lose, and that That ball was about 5 rows up in the seats on the Green Monster. There was no doubt about that one. It's 3-1 Sox. That's a tough one. That was also to Xander Bogaerts, who is definitely one of the Red Sox better hitters. It stinks, man. Absolutely stinks. And the crummy thing is, too, he was in an 0-2 count, and he went fastball.
Yep.
He went, that is 3 rows up the monster seats. That's tough. And we saw that. Oh, God. Eddie, piss off. For those of you who don't know, Eddie Mack runs the Petty Eddie podcast here on Network 216. He's not a Cleveland Guardians fan. He's a Red Sox fan. He's having a pretty good time right now. Eddie previewed the Red Sox with me earlier this week.
What do you say?
So when we previewed the series, it was a lot of thoughts about the current state of the team. We figured the series would be pretty good. Boston has been living and dying by a lot of defensive errors lately. Chuck.
What? It's just so deflating.
It makes no sense, man. I wonder. So, like, if you're
Where are
Luke
we at?
Maile,
The 6th inning?
yeah, if you're Luke Maile, why are you calling for a fastball? Just why? I don't understand. Why are you calling for a fastball in an 0-2 count to Xander Bogaerts? Like, what, man? Just
Why didn't you throw the curve? Where was the curveball there?
Yeah, it makes no sense to call fastball in that situation. Mostly because, if I'm going to guess correctly, I don't believe Xander had seen a curveball. Nope. So he saw a fastball and a slider. All right, Sticks is going to get out of it. The damage is done, though. Kenzie gives up a bomb to Bogaerts. It's 3-1. That sucks because that is really the only mistake that he made.
Damage is definitely done.
Yep. So actually, it wasn't a fastball. StatCast had it as an 85 mile an hour slider. That's even worse because, as you guys can see, I'm pulling it up on the game day on the lower left.
Just go curve. Just go curveball. The curveball is dominant.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't, man. That's bad catching. This just further reaffirms to me that Luke Maile is not on this team by next week. I think the Guardians are going to trade for Sean Murphy.
Really?
Yep, I think they will. At least according to some of the tweets I've seen, Guardians are very in on Sean Murphy. I don't think we have. I think we could offer. We could go get Sean Murphy and Pablo Lopez.
I can't believe that just happened.
I know.
I can't believe it. I can't believe McKenzie just gave up a 3-run homer.
Well, and the thing is, too, he had done a really good job in those last couple starts of not
I'm in shock.
Giving up home runs.
I'm in shock. I can't believe it just happened. Why are you laughing?
Because I love your passion for the game. Your passion for the game is unmatched, man. And I appreciate it.
That's just so deflating.
Well, hold on. The offense can still do its thing.
We had a 6-inning no-run gem, Zach. We just threw it out the window.
I know. Hey, if you guys are watching on the Twitch channel or you catch the rebroadcast at some point, I'll probably rebroadcast this tomorrow between like 11 and 12. Make sure you guys, if you guys want to support Network 216 and Chuck and I directly, make sure you guys subscribe to the Twitch channel. It's like $5.99 a month. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free Twitch sub, one per month. And we would be very appreciative if you guys spent it on us. That's going to allow us to keep growing the network and keep bringing you guys good stuff like this.
Zach, you want to do another underdog promo?
I'll wrap with an underdog promo at the end. I know you're pretty deflated. We're gonna wrap this show at an hour so that Chuck and I can get out of here and watch the end of the game.
Well, no, I thought we're finishing 9:20, 9:15 or something like that.
We can. We just got to be out of here for Grant and Matt.
Yeah.
So
I think still can't believe that just happened. Oh my!
I know, dude.
It's
bad game calling.
Just ripped the heart out of me, Zach. Oh my!
Well, and it's bad game calling. Like, why are you calling for a slider after one? You just threw him a slider. And two, why are you not calling for the curveball, which has been McKenzie's best strikeout pitch all year? Why are you calling for a slider in the zone? Now, I don't know if it was called for away and McKenzie just hung it, but you can't put that anywhere close to a good hitter, especially like Xander Bogaerts.
No.
Interestingly
What?
enough,
Oh,
Devers was not in the lineup again for
nope.
Boston.
He's on the injured list.
Did they add him to the injured list?
Yeah,
They did officially. Like Boston is, I don't think they're buyers, man. I think they're sellers. I think the wild card is too competitive, and their shot in the East that ship sailed at the end of May.
Hang in there, Jimenez. Hang in there. Hang in there, Andres.
Let's see what Heaney can do here. Nice foul. All right. Fouling off the 83-mile-an-hour slider.
Oh, I'm so upset. I still can't believe it just happened.
Don't count the team out, though. We've seen, dubbed the Guardiac kids. We've seen them come back, and, a guy like Jimenez at the plate is definitely who you want at the plate to get a rally started. I think I don't like Luke Maile, dude. I don't like him at all. I don't like Austin Hedges either, but at least Hedges calls good games and plays good defense. And he strikes out on a fastball. Dang. 97 up the pipe. Whew. That was some heat. I think what you're seeing now is I don't know if we have enough trade leverage to go out and get guys like Anthony Bass, Pablo Lopez, and Sean Murphy. You could potentially see the team be competitive in pitching in free agency. Or you could, potentially see the team, drop a bomb package for Sean Murphy, who's got 2 years retainability. Let Hedges write out his contract, and Naylor's your second catcher next year. I think a realistic package for Murphy probably looks like, let's see, what do the A's need?
It's gonna cost a lot, Zach.
They need a middle infielder. They're probably going to want Rocchio.
They're just gonna want best talent available. When you're in the acquiring talent phase,
you're literally taking anybody.
You're just taking the best prospect it doesn't matter at what position. You're just taking the best prospect.
I think they're going to want Rocchio. They're probably going to want one of Freeman or Arias plus 2 pitchers.
Franmil, please.
Do you think Franmil stays a Guardian?
I don't. I think.
How do you think they trade him? I don't like talking about players negatively like this, but
I love
if
Franmil.
the team wants good hitting, and I love Franmil, but do you think he has any trade value? How do you move him?
I just think at some point, your value is what it is, and it's almost an addition by subtraction because you're opening up a roster spot, and then you can add, let's say, Will Benson to the major league roster, or you can.
I think he's next in line.
You can acquire a reliever, and
Dude.
Yeah, it's
Diekman's throwing 99.
I love Frem. Nolan Jones has added a new dimension to the lineup, deep into the lineup, left-handed power stroke that we need.
Nicole called you out on Twitter.
Me? What did I do?
She said you spoke this into existence.
Me?
He said, I'm nervous. I'm going to lose. You remember a couple hours ago, you said, I'm nervous. I'm going to lose it when I watch Tristan McKenzie give up a 3-run homer on my TV.
Oh, my God. I did
while I'm
say
live
that.
on the. You did.
Oh, my God.
Let me put this on screen. There you go. That's okay, though, man.
You can put that on screen. I can't believe I tweeted that.
Yep. It's okay, man.
I banged my table a little bit.
It's frustrating too because
I can't believe that happened. It just, oh my God.
Yeah, that's tough. So, to give you guys some perspective on what the A's have been looking for in terms of prospects,
we get someone on
when
base.
It was rumored that the White Sox. When it was rumored that the White Sox this year, earlier when they had their onslaught of pitching injuries, it was rumored that they inquired about Frankie Montas.
Luke Maile's on deck, Zach.
I know.
There's nothing we can do. It's literally. If you
it ain't looking so good, man. The A's allegedly wanted Andrew Vaughn from the Sox, and the Sox were like, "No, thank you." It is definitely a seller's market this year. Teams have a lot of holes that need filled.
I can't
Man,
believe
Diekman is pumping 97, dude. It'd be nice to see Jones at least maybe get a good swing here. Jones is a good fastball hitter. He'll catch up to it. If Diekman challenges him with one in the zone, he might get one. Grip it and rip it.
You
Let's see
know,
what we got here, boys.
our best shot is to get a clean top of the order somehow. So him getting on would be nice. Like let well, we don't want Maile leading off the next inning. So if no one were to get on, then we have then we have Miles Straw leading off. So
Yep.
that's that'd be nice. So
ideally not the worst case scenario, although I think with Maile getting the start, you potentially pinch hit for Maile. Yep.
Yeah.
If Jones doesn't get on here, I think you potentially see them pinch hit to start the 8th inning.
You never know with Tito though.
Well, here's the thing. So if you think about it,
I am so upset that Xander Bogaerts just hit a home run.
I know.
You
have to remember the club is managing a very long stretch of games right now too. So a lot of this is giving guys days off to keep them fresh, and rotating in and out of their lineup splits, because the club does not have an off day this week. We have a game tomorrow versus Boston and for game 4.
And then we have the frenzy on, the whole weekend with the deadline on Monday and Tuesday is going to be crazy.
Yeah, Monday and Tuesday is going to be nuts. We're going to be live Tuesday evening at 4:30. We're going to go until 6 o'clock, which is the trade deadline. We will recap any crazy shit that happens, and we're going to be following the deadline down to the wire.
No.
That's what that fastball does, man. That's tough. I think it'll be curious to see the way that the team shakes out when Oscar Gonzalez comes back. Oscar Gonzalez is in a rehab start at AAA Columbus right now, I'm pretty sure. He could potentially rejoin the team by the weekend. He has looked good at Columbus, so look potentially see him, and that will probably accompany an Alex Call DFA.
Yeah.
And I would assume the club will try to trade Alex Call for cash at the bare minimum while he's clearing waivers. So I think that there's a lot of I made a trade tracker the other day and I didn't save it. Like, guys, there's a lot of pitching out there. Luis Castillo, Tyler Mahle, Frankie Montas. There's tons and tons of pitching. Tarik Skubal of Detroit, which is really freaking weird because I was 99% sure.
It's very weird, Zach.
Well, it doesn't make any sense. Why would you sign Javi Baez to that fat contract if you were just going to sell? Like, wasn't Detroit supposed to be coming into their competitive window?
They're in trouble.
They are in big trouble. Akil Baddoo has regressed significantly from last year.
They have a lot of injuries in their minor league system. Casey Mize has the Tommy John. Eduardo Rodriguez is not with the team currently. They have a lot of stuff going on, and now you're just seeing they're going to tear apart their bullpen at the deadline.
Yeah, they'll dismantle for what they can get.
Yeah, we may even see their
Gregory Soto may be on the move.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nice for us if you think about it.
I think the return in order for Detroit to move anybody in the division would have to be pretty fat.
Michael Fulmer, you name it, everybody is going to be on the move there. It's just weird that they want to trade Tyler Skubal. He's literally like the only good pitcher they have. It's just bizarre. Young player, all the control, young player leading a staff. I just don't get what they're trying to do.
Well, and Detroit's had a lot of pitching injuries too this year that have kind of, accelerated their timeline on guys where they
No, he's just a young player.
A lot like we saw with Connor Pilkington this year.
But he's a young, controllable, good pitcher. What more do you want to lead your rotation? And it's not like Zach the control's running out. He literally has like 4 years control. I think 5.
I'm pretty sure he is on a rookie minimum deal. Actually,
it's just weird. It's just like it's
so. I think the haul for school would have.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he has 4.5. So the remainder of this season plus guaranteed total. So the way it works, if you guys watch this and you're not sure what we're talking about, players that are on rookie deals have 2 years of guaranteed team control where they make the league rookie
Can we
minimum.
stop showing this? All right, okay.
Which Scooble will make that over the next 2 years, and then he's arbitration eligible for 3 years. It would take a pretty decent haul to get him, and I think the Tigers would raise the asking price if they were going to trade him.
Miles, what are
in
you
the division.
doing, Miles? Lead off double. Okay.
I'm surprised McKenzie's out for the 7th, man.
I don't know what Tito's doing. He really leaves them his starters every start and inning too long. Literally,
Well, you have
every
to remember the team has another bullpen game coming this weekend. We're going to see another opener.
It was Brian Shaw for no reason.
Yeah. We're
not
going to see another opener on Sunday.
It's not De Los Santos. It's not anybody. It's Brian Shaw. It can't be. It has to be Brian Shaw who starts the opener. It can't be anybody else. So
throw Ernie Clement out there, dude.
who's oh, Karinchak's warming up. Okay.
I still have mixed feelings about him.
Everybody does. I'm just so deflated.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if McKenzie can get out of this. I don't know. My temptation is to walk Dahlbeck.
What are we doing?
Oh, man.
What are we doing?
Off the wall.
Oh my God. Whoa.
Yeah, 4-1, nobody out. Go get him, Tito. Do not let him sit, man. You got to go get him. They've got him figured out. And Maley is calling a freaking terrible game. Get him. It's time to get him. Do not.
Do you want to read the underdog promo?
Yeah. We got a few minutes left. So we'll get to wrapping up here. I want to tell you guys again about our sponsor. We here at Network 216 and At the Corner are sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is your best place to play fantasy sports, especially if you're like me and you like daily fantasy. And there is no better place for daily fantasy baseball than Underdog, and I will tell you why. Their daily baseball drafts are pretty cool. So you can do a 3-player, a 6-player, or a 1-player draft. I like the 6-player drafts because it requires a little bit more brain math. What you do is you draft 1 pitcher, 2 infielders, 2 outfielders, and a flex. You do the draft live at the draft start time. You draft your players for the night, and you see whose baseball knowledge comes out on top. You guys can play matchups. It will show you the matchups. If you're drafting batters, it will show you who they're going against pitching. You have time to do your research if you start a draft that starts at like 4. I'm going to be doing a couple of those next week. And if you guys like playing daily fantasy, check out Underdog. Go to underdogfantasy.com or download the app. If you sign up with code 216, Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. All I did was drop, I think I dropped $20 in there. I used the code, Underdog matched it. Pretty sweet. I don't play expensive daily fantasy stuff. All I do is like the $3 drafts, and it's a lot of fun. You can play gut feeling. You can play matchups. You guys know that there's no better sport in the world than baseball for statistics. So if that's your thing, check it out. I was on the fence about it. I'd seen Underdog everywhere. Content creators that I have followed for years were brought on by them. Network 216 finally convinced me to check it out. Oh, nice. Did they get both? Oh, they got both. That's a double play.
Yep.
Nice play by Jimenez, dude. Whew.
Yep.
But finishing out, I had been on the fence about Underdog, and I checked it out, and I really like it. They keep it simple. If you guys like NFL stuff, their Best Ball Mania is the way to go. They've got up to over $10 million in cash prizes for Best Ball Mania this year. All you do with that one is you draft a team. You do not have any in-season roster management at all in the leagues. You just draft your team and try to get the best score each week. So make sure you guys check them out and use code 216. If you guys are not subscribed to this channel and you have Amazon Prime,
use code 216.
There's no better place. If you guys like subscribe to the Twitch channel, it directly supports content creators on this channel. It supports us. It supports Down with the Browns. It supports the Barking Browns show. ATB, I'm not sure when Down with the Browns is going to be on. I'll put that on. They just came on. Go away, Siri. I'm not exactly sure when they'll be on. We're still working that out. So stay tuned to the @network_216 Twitter for that. We're trying to iron out a consistent schedule for you guys. So Chuck, let me get your closing thoughts, and then I'm going to plug Grant and Matt, and we'll get out of here.
Closing thoughts on what?
What you think we can see in the next couple days, both baseball-wise and trade-wise?
I think the Juan Soto trade. I'm sorry I'm not the best company tonight. I'm kind of.
You're okay, man.
I'm getting my ass kicked over here. I'm just really
Chuck,
upset.
if I couldn't handle your passion for the game, we would have parted ways a long time ago.
It actually looks like I'm crying on camera for some reason. I don't know, but I'm not. I think the Juan Soto trade is going to happen. I think San Diego is going to acquire him in the next 48 hours.
And it's going to be a monster trade.
It sounds like the Yankees are out. It might sound like maybe they're trying to get a bidding war between the Dodgers and the Padres because they're in the same division. So they're trying to jack up the price. Maybe that could be what's going on, because you don't know what's real and what's not. But it is being reported that St. Louis has sent an underwhelming offer and that San Diego's much better.
Actually tweeted out about 20 minutes before we started the show is that St. Louis was out.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's a 2-horse race between the Dodgers and the Padres, and I could just see the Dodgers wanting to prevent Soto being in their division in the middle in a pennant race. So that could be why Washington jacks up the price. And yeah, but I do think he's going to end up going to San Diego. And in Guardians land, we face two lefties.
Yep.
And the great Corey Kluber, who we are all grateful and forever.
Return to Cleveland.
No, I think it's in Tampa. It's in Tampa, no? Yeah. In that horrific baseball stadium called Tropicana Field.
What passes for a baseball stadium anyway. Yep, we're in Tampa.
Yeah, so we face two lefties, so we know what's coming tomorrow. We'll probably, get some Ernie Clement.
Probably get an Alex Call start.
Hey, what's the chat? That's the Browns people. You know me, Zach. I don't want to see the Browns anywhere. So
you're a Jets fan, Chuck. It's okay.
No, I don't want to see football, period, when the Guardians are playing. It's just...
It's all right, man. Let people have their hype. We're coming into, training
camp. It's just
camp.
a huge pet peeve of mine when I'm watching, like, a baseball game, and I'm watching my team, the Guardians, compete their ass off, and then at the top of my left corner of my Twitter feed is a purple alert for a Browns Twitter space at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday. It's just ridiculous.
It's okay, man.
We're going to talk about how much Nick Chubb's bench press is. It's just like...
Side note, that is pretty impressive.
Yeah, but we're getting off topic. So we're facing two lefties and the great Corey Kluber, who we all love. So our lineup's going to be... I don't want to say what our lineup's going to be, but we know it's coming. And then we face pretty much the best pitcher in the American League, possibly in all baseball, Shane McClanahan. So a big fat L is pretty much what's going to happen there. I have no faith in that one. So we really need to win on Saturday. And then it's really going to be the trade. We're off to the trade deadline. So, that's pretty much what's going to be going on. And I think they trade for a pitcher. Don't be shocked if it's a pitcher that we haven't seen listed yet. It may not be Pablo Lopez, Mejia, or Castillo, but it could be like a good pitcher that we haven't heard about being available. That's how
you have to remember our scouting in Cleveland. They scout very well. They know.
Can we get a base runner, please? Come on.
So
just be professional, Luke Bailey. Just get on base. You're a professional.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys what's coming next. So we're gonna wrap up and get out of here.
You're ending it because you're starting to see me unravel a little bit.
No, it's because we need to get out of here for Grant and Matt. So
I just want Luke Bailey to be a professional hitter.
I know, dude. I wish.
Just be professional. Get on base.
The Grant P and Matty G betting show is on at 9:30. If you guys like betting odds, what bets to take, Both of those dudes are super knowledgeable. They launched last night. They know
Maybe
what
I'll
they're
take
talking about.
maybe I'll take the live line on the Guardians to come back right now. Plus 900 probably.
What's the live line right now? It's got to be plus. It's got to be
Yeah.
plus 200 something.
More, probably plus 7.
So I'll wrap us and get us out of here. Thank you guys for watching and tuning in with us. We'll keep you guys posted on what's coming. Remember, Monday at 8 o'clock, at least tentatively, I'll get that confirmed. We're going to have Pat Ellington Jr. on. Pat was supposed to be with us tonight.
Very, very
and
exciting.
Pat had to reschedule, and we have more good stuff coming for you guys. I want to tell you guys so bad about probably the interview that I'm excited for the most, but I cannot, out of respect for their situation.
Maybe got a leadoff walk. Got on base.
I'll take it. All right, let's get out of here. Go watch the rest.
Pray for a walk with him. It's That's literally what it is.
Let's get out of here. Let's go watch the rest of the game. Maybe the Guards pull one out. You guys know where to find us at the Corner Pod on Twitter. I'm at Zachary_Buckeye, and Chuck is at Chuck636-18910. This is At the Corner. I'm your host, Zach. That's your co-host, Chuck. See you guys later.